Hey everybody, I'm Sean,
And I'm Tiff.
and today on Season 2, Episode 3 of the Random Division, we are talking about,
Fashion trends from the last decade.
and I am going to be out of my depth.
No, he's way more in his depth than he thinks because he is a sneaker junkie.
That's not true.
Yeah, you are.
That's not true.
You decided you were going to cover sneakers,
Yeah.
which is a part of fashion.
Yeah.
And actually, this is quite the decade for sneakers because a big trend of the last 10 years.
It's just been casual sneakers and casual.
Well, it's athleisure.
Yeah. So we will talk about all that. But before we kind of jump in and start talking, a few quick plugs now that we have you after 45 seconds. Please follow this podcast, The Random Division, on iTunes or Spotify or Anchor.fm or Google Play or wherever you listen to podcasts. Also, you can find all of these podcasts posted on stayhomehusband.com. That will be something I will be doing this week to get them all up there so you can find them all in one place. And follow us on Instagram, The Random Division. And if you want to email us with any ideas for podcasts or any compliments or questions, or you have your own things that you'd like to say about the decade that we just survived, you can email us at therandomdivisionpod@gmail.com.
Maybe you are feeling like, oh, everyone is asking me for things right now because it's almost the holidays and I don't really want to give anybody any money. Guess what? You can perform a charity without having to give by just rating this podcast.
Yeah. Mainly, iTunes is typically the place people can rate and review.
I think we have like a good 7 reviews now?
We have 7 ratings. We have 1 written review from Lola Stokes, who said that we were a hoot, and she praised our Bachelorette podcasts from the
Season
fall,
1.
which we will pick up again in like 2 months' time when we're watching Pilot Pete date a bunch of chicks. And can we also give a quick shout out to Tim McAuliffe Pottery, who had a nice he shared our story on Instagram, so we appreciate that and encouraged his friends to listen to us.
Yes.
So thank you for that, Tim.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We are very new at this. Not new at podcasting per se, but definitely new at gaining followers.
We want to pick some people
up. We've been podcasting away for years, but no one's really listened.
People listen.
Okay.
It's not a lot. You roll your eyes. People listen. So that's all of our plugs and all of our things. And we are diving around and talking about different things from this decade. So this week we're doing fashion. The other 2 that we've done are we did a TV episode and we've also done a technology episode. So today we're going to talk about fashion. Tiff, where do you want to start in the world of fashion from this decade? What an enormous topic that we're going to spend the next 55 minutes talking about. We're not going to get to everything, but we're going to get to some things.
I know. And this is all going to be based on my own regional experience.
Of course.
Because I didn't have time to research globally what people were wearing in LA for the last 10 years versus Paris for the last 10 years versus Boston.
Versus like going to Tokyo, it's completely different.
Totally.
I went on to
and also I would argue that New England has their own fashion trends sometimes. Like when I first moved here, I remember thinking, why is it's just strange trends. Patagonia's everywhere. Didn't understand why.
Yep.
It was the fleece. I think that was was it the Patagonia fleece? I think that was the one that was like tricolored.
Well, North Face as well.
But this one was like tricolored and
North Face. Yeah, like North Face and Patagonia kind of make the same the full zip with the shoulder.
Yeah.
And you could have like a black shoulder and a blue.
Vests are very popular here, or they were for a period of time, which I thought was strange. So
They're popular from September until just about now.
Bean boots.
Yep.
timeless New England boot.
That definitely spread into the rest of the country this
For
decade.
sure. So sometimes I think that there are fashion trends that are very specific to the Northeast, but what I'm going to do is start by mentioning one thing from my very long list and then just having you comment where necessary.
Okay, great.
Okay. So I started off by, I was trying to read some articles about fashion trends from the early 2009, 2010 period to get my mindset back there.
Yeah.
And I I didn't really find anything profound. I don't think fashion has quite made that much of a statement in the last 10 years. Specifically with like there's nothing like that Vogue has identified as being of the decade, really, that anybody could relate to. So the overall trend, which I had just outlined when we first started, was athleisure. That's pretty much been, I would say, like that, the rise of athleisure from 2008 really to now, to present day. I think it's a broad term, but I think fashion has really transformed to moving toward more comfortable athletic apparel that can somehow be disguised as workwear or professional wear.
Yep.
I mean, there are clothing brands that I'm guilty of purchasing from that are basically made from yoga like synthetic material that are disguised as work pants.
Yeah, a lot more stretchy.
Very stretchy, very
fabrics.
comfortable. And then with that, we're getting sort of this, what is it? I dress like you don't care. Kind of like everyone's wearing. It's like there's like these more polished hoodies that you can wear.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, guys, I watch, as you know, a lot of NBA, and there's a lot of NBA players like NBA players are a whole fashion podcast in of themselves. But they'll wear a hoodie underneath a
blazer.
sport coat or a blazer,
Yeah.
right? So it's like the formal casual
Oh yeah, the
kind of
blending
look, which I think looks really good. I
love it too. I think that when you wearing high heels with jeans that have holes in them, it's kind of the same thing. Like you're just blending something very dressy with something very casual, and
it's the fashion mullet.
Yeah,
It's business
have it.
and it's party.
So I had written some things down, like just ridiculous sneaker obsessions, really, like the Stan Smith sneaker.
Can we stick with athleisure for?
Sure.
Can we just because are you planning on coming back to it or?
Oh yeah, I'm planning on coming.
Oh, okay.
Right
So you're
back.
going over just a whole. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Do you want to direct this
No,
podcast?
you're good. You're good. I just have some things to say about athleisure.
I mean, I was going to talk about how we've had 90s throwbacks have made a comeback from the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So the Adidas sneaker, the flat, I think they call them clamshells here.
Oh yeah, the shell toe.
Shell toes, that's what they call
Yep.
them. I knew there was a funny phrase for them.
Yeah.
That style of sneaker has inspired many sneakers of that style. Like even Cole Haan has come out with athletic looking, more casual sneakers that look like that. So where I was going with this, athleisure, is we look back at Lululemon. That's the first brand that I really remember being like high fashion, but they were yoga pants, and I was very confused from the beginning.
Yep.
I just remember thinking, who would spend $100 on yoga pants
Yeah.
that you only wear to yoga class? But then I realized you don't wear them to yoga class.
No.
You wear them around
Everywhere else.
to do your errands for the day. So Lululemon, I did not realize this, started in 1998. And I knew that they were from Canada, but I didn't know that they were that old.
Oh, I didn't know they were from Canada.
So they started in 98, essentially by this guy,
who I know has terrible things written about him. But this guy who was having back problems goes to a yoga class. He recognizes that the yoga instructor is wearing like stretchy dance material. He hates what he's wearing, which I guess were uncomfortable 1998 pants,
Yeah.
and realized I could make a killing if I can just come up with a really cool brand that's just for yoga. And he does. He starts Lululemon. That's my version of how he started the company. I'm sure there was way more to it than that. And then it takes about 10 to 12 years before the brand really reaches the US and grows in the US. So I think by 2013 or 2014, it was ranked by Forbes as being one of the fastest growing clothing retailers in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And in my mind, I think this is around the same time. I happened to be working for a company that the HR person had to come up with a special addendum to the dress code policy to acknowledge, this was in 2014,
Yeah.
to acknowledge pants, yoga pants as pants. So people were wearing, adult women were wearing yoga pants
Yeah.
as
Work
pants.
clothes. Yep.
And this offended apparently some men in our office, and the HR representative had to come up with a plan to strategically word the dress code. And I think this was also around the same time that I had mentioned it to you, and you were teaching, and you had said that there were kids wearing yoga pants as pants as well.
Yeah, so where I used to teach and where I was dean of students for the last 4 years, so dress code was the thing that everyone put on my desk when they ever had a question or or wanted someone to deal with anybody. Extremely uncomfortable talking to middle school girls about dress code, so I would typically delegate that out to a female coworker. But we had leggings was an issue during dress down days because we didn't have a uniform, but we had a dress code, and leggings were not in the like normal dress code. But on a Friday, if we had a dress down day, typically you would think kids would show up in jeans. Like that was the old school. Like when we were growing up,
Yeah, it was a
kids
jeans day.
would show.
We even
It was
called
called
it
jeans day, or so girls would show up in leggings, and we had to create a couple different rules around leggings, and they had to be, you could wear leggings, but you had to be covered.
Yeah, the shirt had to cover the bum.
Yeah, or they had to wear shorts over the leggings, and there were all these kind of like little rules that were in place to just, so we didn't have, I don't know, a bunch of girls just running around in leggings for the day.
Which is ridiculous now because men wear leggings now too as pants, I've noticed. And obviously women still do it.
Well, so I have to say I have not noticed men in leggings.
Yeah,
and
I
I'm
have
wondering
noticed.
where are you seeing men in leggings?
Men wear leggings as pants.
Really?
Well, like, I don't know that I would call them the same type of legging that I wear to yoga, but there's definitely like more of an athletic, maybe I would call them, sorry, they're like tight joggers.
Yeah, okay. That's
Like
yes.
tight fitting joggers. So they have a slightly different hemline at the ankle.
Yep.
But if you look at them, they're pretty tight and very athletic looking, like material wise.
Yes. Yeah.
So, okay. So that's Lululemon. They're the culprit here. I think that they started it all.
They did.
I'm saying it here first. No,
So
I'm saying it here last.
I heard that Lululemon is opening, or maybe they already have opened a store somewhere, maybe in Chicago, that you can go to their store, and it's a huge now kind of, it's like a store and a gym because people don't just want to go to stores anymore. And you can try on their clothes at their gym as
And
like
work
a
out in them?
trial run to see if you'd like to buy them. And then if you don't want to buy them, I don't know what the heck they do with them. They must just wash them and have like sets of their clothes that are dedicated just for people to work out in. So they get washed, I would hope, pretty well if people are, it's kind of